Do you know what's wild? You can know all your triggers, you can know all the things to do to stop emotional eating, you can want to stop more than anything, and you still find yourself emotionally eating. And this is because your environment is working against you every single day. And until you can fix that, you're going to keep struggling. I'm going to show you how to create a trigger-free environment so you can actually succeed once and for all. So let's go. Hey, I'm Jackie. I've been helping women break free from emotional eating for over 20 years now, and here's what I see all the time. Women come to me and say, I know my triggers, I know I'm about to emotionally eat, but I still do it. And when I take a look at their lives, I can really see why. Their environments are full of triggers. They have a bag of chips sitting on the bench. They drive past 3 drive-thrus on the way home from work. They have TV shows that make them want to eat. The things they do on a Sunday night that always end up in a binge. Try to resist temptation all day, every day, and that can be seriously exhausting. You can't force your way through life. So instead, you can create a trigger-free environment. You remove the triggers, you change the patterns, and you set up your life so you don't have to rely on willpower alone. So that's what we're covering today. What a trigger-free environment actually is, the 3 types of environmental triggers, how to identify your trigger zones, how to redesign your environment for success, how to handle the triggers you can't remove. And so by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to set up your environment so it supports you instead of sabotages you. Okay, so first we need to talk about why willpower fails, because most people think if I just had more willpower, I could resist. Now, this couldn't be more wrong. Willpower is a limited resource. Every time you resist a trigger, you use up willpower, and by the end of the day, you are completely out. So let me give you an example. You wake up, there's leftover cake in the fridge, you resist it. Then mid-morning comes, your coworker brings in donuts. You resist them, you're doing well. Lunchtime, you're stressed out, you want comfort food, you resist. The 3 p.m. vending machine is calling. You resist again. You drive home, you pass your favorite restaurant, resisting again, you're doing so well. And then you get home, you're exhausted, the chips are in the pantry, and you cave. This is because you've been resisting all day and your willpower tank is empty. This is called decision fatigue. Every time you have to make a decision to resist, you drain your willpower, and eventually you're going to lose. So the solution is stop relying on willpower and instead remove the decisions. If the cake isn't in the fridge, you don't have to resist it. If you take a different route home, you don't pass the restaurant. If the chips aren't in the pantry, they're not an option at 9 p.m. You're not resisting, you're just not encountering the trigger. And that's what a trigger-free environment is. So what exactly is an environmental trigger? It's anything in your physical environment that sets up the emotional eating cycle. And there are 3 types. So the first type are visual triggers, and these are things that you see the trigger eating. So common ones include food sitting out on your bench, seeing food ads on TV or in social media, driving past restaurants or fast food, the cupboard door, if it's full of trigger foods, certain places in your house like the couch, the bed, the kitchen. And the thing with these visual triggers is out of sight, out of mind, and it actually works. So if you can't see it, you think about it way less. So an example might be you keep cookies on the bench, and every time you walk through the kitchen, you see them. Every time you see them, you think about eating them. And then eventually you eat them. And it's not because you are hungry, it's because you could actually see them. They were visible. Now, the same cookies in an opaque container in the back of a high cabinet, you forget that they actually exist. And that's the power of removing visual triggers. Now, the second type is location triggers, and these are specific places that trigger eating. Common location triggers are the couch. You always eat while watching TV there. Your car. You always have snacks in the car. Your bed. Late night eating spot. The kitchen. You hang out there when you're even not cooking. And there are certain rooms or spaces in your house. So here's what happens. You've created an association. Couch equals eating. Car equals eating. Bed equals eating. So every time you're in that location, your brain says, time to eat, even when you're not hungry. The location itself is the trigger. So an example of this I have from a client, she always ate ice cream in bed while watching Netflix. Every freaking night. She'd jump to bed, turn on a show, and immediately want ice cream. And it wasn't because she was hungry, because bed equals ice cream in her brain. We changed the pattern and she moved to the couch for Netflix. No ice cream allowed. And within 2 weeks, that association had broken. She could be in bed without wanting her ice cream. And that's changing a location trigger. Now, the third type are routine triggers. So these are specific patterns of routines that trigger eating. Common routine triggers are coming home from work and going straight to the kitchen, watching TV at night, always eating while watching on a Sunday night. You kind of have that pre-Monday dread routine. After putting kids to bed, the me time eating, that's one that used to always get me. Your morning coffee is always paired with like a pastry. Routines are powerful because they're automatic. You don't think about them, you just do them. So you might come home after work, you walk through the door, you drop your bag, you go to the kitchen, open the fridge and eat. You're not deciding to do this, it's just the pattern. The trigger isn't the hunger, it's the routine. So those are your 3 types. Visual, what you see, location, where you are, and routine, what you do automatically. Now, the thing is, once you identify your environmental triggers, you can change them. All right, so how do you identify your trigger zones? I'm going to walk you through this. So the first step is to map your home. Think about every room in your house: kitchen, living room, bedroom, home office. And for each room, ask, do I emotionally eat here? And if there's a yes, that's a trigger zone. Most people have 2 to 3 main trigger zones. And for a lot of women, it's the kitchen and the couch. The bedroom, late night eating. So what are yours? Step 2 is you're going to track your patterns. So over the next 3 days, notice, where do you emotionally eat? Is it in the same room every time? That's a location trigger. What do you see right before you eat? Is it food on the bench, ads on TV? That's a visual trigger. And what routine leads to eating? Coming home from work, after dinner, Sunday evenings? That's a routine trigger. Now, thirdly, identify your top 3 from your tracking and what are the top 3 environmental triggers. For most people, it's something like this: chips in the cupboard, which is visual, the couch after 8 p.m, location, and coming home from work, the routine. So write yours down, because those are what we're going to change. Okay, now the good part. How do you actually create a trigger-free environment? I'm going to give you 5 strategies, but pick the ones that fit your life. So the first strategy is remove visual triggers. Get trigger foods out of sight. Not out of the house, we'll get to that, just out of sight. And how do we do that? We put trigger foods in opaque containers where you can't see through them. Store them in high cabinets or at the back of the cupboard. Don't leave food sitting out on the bench. Get any leftovers out of your fridge because you know you'll binge on them. The rule, if you can see it, you'll think about it. If you can't see it, you won't. It's so simple but powerful. Okay, now strategy 2. Change location associations. Breaking the location equals eating association. How? If you always eat on the couch, eat at the table instead. If you eat in bed, make the bed a food-free zone. If you eat in the car, remove all snacks from the car. And if you hang out in the kitchen when bored, just stay out of the kitchen. Create new rules, but this location is not for eating, and stick to it. And after only 2 or 3 weeks, the association breaks. Strategy 3 is interrupt routines. Change the automatic patterns. So for example, the after work routine. Your old routine might be you walk in, you dump your bag, you go to the kitchen and you eat. The new routine is you walk in, change clothes, go for a 10-minute walk, then decide if you want to eat or not. Another example might be the Sunday evening routine. So your old routine might be you're dreading Monday. You sit on the couch, you watch TV, and you are eating just to cope. Your new routine might be feel the dread of Monday, give a friend a call, go somewhere, engage differently. You're interrupting that automatic pattern and creating a new one that doesn't include food. So for strategy 4, we're going to create actual trigger-free zones. We're going to designate certain areas as completely food-free. So the bedroom might be a food-free zone. The home office is a no-food zone. Car, a no-food zone, except planned snacks for long trips. The rule is no eating in these spaces ever. This does 2 things. 1, it removes the temptation in those spaces. And 2, it gives you a safe zone where you don't have to think about food. Now, the 5th strategy is the hard one, removing the trigger foods. This is the one people resist. But what if I want it later? But my family eats it, but I should be able to have it in the house. I get it. And yes, eventually you want to get to that place where you can have it. But right now, if there's a food that you binge on every single time it's in the house, don't keep it in the house. At least not for a while. You're not saying I can never have this again. You're just saying right now, while I'm building new patterns, I'm not keeping this at home. If you want it, you can go get it, a single serving from the store. But it's not sitting in your pantry at night, PM calling your name. Now, I know some of you are thinking that I live with other people. They want the food, and that is seriously fair. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But for now, if you live alone or have supportive people in your house, try removing the top 1 to 2 trigger foods for 4 weeks and just see what happens. So what about the triggers you can't remove? You can't avoid the grocery store. You can't stop seeing food ads, and you can't control what your family keeps in the house. Here's what you're going to do. For triggers you can't remove, you prepare for them. So, for example, you're going to the grocery shop. You can't avoid it, but if you can, go with a list and don't wander. Shop after eating and not while you're hungry. Avoid any aisles with trigger foods. Use grocery pickup or delivery. For food ads on TV, you can't avoid them completely, but you can mute them when they come on. Change channel. Watch streaming services without ads. And have a non-food distraction ready, like a puzzle game on your phone. So if family keeps trigger foods in the house that you can't control what they eat, you can ask them to keep it out of sight. Just designate one shelf as not yours and avoid that area of the kitchen. Have your own foods ready when you want something, because you can't remove every trigger, but you can reduce your exposure. Look, creating a trigger-free environment isn't about being perfect. It's about being strategic. And you can't rely on willpower 24/7. Nobody can. But you can design your environment to support you instead of sabotage you. Remove the visual triggers. Change the location associations. Interrupt the routines, and suddenly you're not fighting yourself all day. That's when freedom from emotional eating becomes possible. So here's what I want you to do. Go to the link in the description. I've got a free trigger-free environment audit that walks you through identifying your trigger zones and creating your redesign plan. Download it, fill it out. And then if you want the full system, my 28-day Stop the Binge Guilt Cycle program gives you everything you need to create lasting food freedom. And that link's down there too. But seriously, start with the audit, because once you see how your environment is working against you, you seriously can change it. And that changes everything. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.